Hello, everyone, and welcome to Peabolic Notes. My name is Michael Krickchen, and welcome to my channel. Today is Sunday, April 10, 2022. And the topic of today for me is going to be to look at a cryptocurrency that's going to be Chainlink. It's one that I owned a little while back, some shares. I sold the tokens that I had. And it's one that I'm looking at right now to see if it makes sense to reinvest in it, as it's taken a bit of a dive last little while, and the price of a token seems to be interesting now for an acquisition. So I'll be analyzing it with you today to see if it's something that could make sense to acquire. Before I get started, just a full disclaimer: this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial planner or a financial advisor. I'm just sharing with you my personal investments that I do in this cryptocurrency space. And before you do any investment in anything, just double check with your own financial advisors, and of course, do your own research. Let me get started and share with you my computer screen so you can see what I'm looking at the same time. So first of all, what is Chainlink? So Chainlink is I'll open Masari and go through it quickly. It's a decentralized Oracle network. Basically, what it does is it's middleware between smart contracts and as well as external external platforms. And it started in 2017 and officially was launched on mainnet in 2019. So it's kind of a newer token. It's been around 3 years on the mainnet. And what they want to do is solve the Oracle problem. So basically, what that means is they are linking in a decentralized manner, linking the outside world, outside data with the actual the mainnet, with the blockchain. It's a very interesting idea. Obviously, they have the full white paper that somebody can read and to do a deep dive into it. If I look at the actual supply of the token, if I go to CoinMarketCap, we notice that what it's got is that as far as the token supply today, it's got the circulating supply is around 467 million tokens. The max supply would be at 1 billion tokens. And the token price as of today is around $15 US, $15.56. And if you look at what the supply schedule was, initially when it was launched, they had launched basically in 2017 with a $32 million hard cap. And the pre-sale, they sold it for 9 cents per token. Obviously, those who got at the launch have made phenomenal return. And basically, the way it was done was 35% was allocated to the token sales investors, 35% reserved for the node operators, and also 30% allocated to Link's parent company, which is going to be smartcontract.com. And if you look at what the supply schedule is, they're going to be everything will be fully, I guess, diluted in 2027. That's when the full 1 billion token supply will be out. And if you look at where we're at today, it's approximately 2022. So let's go somewhere around here. It looks like, so as of now, so it looks like they're going to be somewhere around here. So meaning that basically they have not really, the actual supply where we're at now is not basically fully released, because if you look at CoinMarketCap, it shows us that basically it's let's say almost half of the tokens have already been released. Let's look at quickly a bit at what it's doing as far as the charts. And I'm going to look at first of all, the first thing I want to look at is see what Chainlink is doing versus Ethereum versus Bitcoin, and then its own chart itself. But before I do that, what I like to do is quickly just take a quick look at its the actual into the block data, because that's going to give us basically, as far as Chainlink is concerned, what's going on with the actual addresses. So from into the block about Chainlink, we see that there's one whale. So this is probably the parent company of Chainlink, and this owns 35% of tokens. Then there's 10 addresses that have 28% of the total tokens to date. And there's as far as there's 65 addresses that are holding 60% of the tokens, meaning that these addresses have 1 million to 10 million link. Just let's not forget, into the block, or if we do on the chain analysis, it doesn't mean that this is 65 different individuals. It's just 65 addresses. One person can control 10 addresses. So it's very important to pay attention to that. So if I look at this on a high level, I notice that it's kind of top heavy, meaning that the bigger wallets are holding most of the link. That to me is usually a bit of a concern, because I don't like having too many, let's say, whales or big investors holding the big supply. The reason why that's concerning for me is that then whenever there is a price movement, so let's say if I look at a daily chart, and let's say if I'm a small retail investor, then all of a sudden I'm always going to be concerned that whenever there's a price movement on the uptick, that these bigger investors that hold many tokens, they'll be basically selling their gains, and then all of a sudden there's going to be a retracement going backwards, right? And that's why we notice, if you look at Chainlink, the price movement is really it's very perfectly explained in this, because we see that each time that there's been a price increase upwards, there has been a retracement, and then it was a bigger kind of let's say a very big bear cycle, and slowly it advanced. Then again, it went up quite a bit over here from December 2020 all the way till February 2021. So then again, it went from $10 a token price to around $34, and then a big profit taking. And it hasn't really, it looks to me like it hasn't really recovered since the May 2021 high. From here on, basically, then it's been very bearish. And then afterwards, when it tried going back up again a couple of times, to me, it looks like the resistance was very strong, because what happened was over here, we noticed that on September 5th, it went up something in the range of all the way up to 35, 36 US dollars. Then it had a retracement, went back down. Then it tried going back up again, hit $37, went back down. Then it tried going up again, didn't go that high, almost like a head and shoulders pattern. And then it kind of went down, and now it's kind of congested now. It looks like we're seeing a lot of movement at this price range right now since January of this year. It looks like we're hitting support and resistance at something between the range of $17 US to, let's say, $20 US. So if I look at Link versus Ethereum or Bitcoin, which are the blue chips. So again, I'll go to the weekly chart, and so it looks like versus Bitcoin, it hasn't been a great investment really since August 2020. So it looks like since it was actually Link was actually a great performer until sometime around August 2020 against Bitcoin, and then since then though, it looks like it's had a bit of a rougher time. So it looks like over here, it tried going up against Bitcoin, went down, tried going up, didn't go as high as the previous time, went down again. This time hit resistance and went down again. So that's why, to me, this is a bit of a concerning investment. It just seems like almost as if there's something that the market knows that is telling us that this may not be a great investment. Now, of course, there's not financial advice. Do your own research, because and next thing you know, Link may have a parabolic run and go all the way up, and then make me look foolish with this analysis. But just looking at the charts, and here this is Chainlink against Ethereum, and looking at against Ethereum, I noticed that it's kind of similar to what we saw against Bitcoin as well. So against Ethereum, actually, it's a little worse, because what it's done against Ethereum was it was bullish all the way until here, which was August 2020, and since then it's just been bleeding against Ethereum. Really hasn't been really great, and even though a couple of times it tried moving upwards again, and it kind of suffered, and it's been really negative against Ethereum since it's been almost, let's say, almost 2 years. And if I look at Link's chart, let's say on a weekly, on a monthly, just so that we kind of get an idea. And I'm just picking a Coinbase as my central exchange, but you could pick anything. So if I look at Link on a weekly chart, I noticed that it's had so since this May high of around $52 since then it hasn't been able to really go to those levels again. So each time that it came at, let's say, around $33-34 it had massive resistance and went back down. And over here, this to me is a bit concerning. It means that the selling pressure was so high at $26-27 that then it wasn't able to go to this previous high of $34. So then it went down again. So that's why I would pay attention. And I believe personally, the way I would look at this is that I think that the bullish pattern, I believe, will start looking serious only if Chainlink is able to beat really this when it goes above this resistance line of around something around $26-27. I'll start paying more attention to it, and I believe that when it goes above this line is when it starts getting very serious. Obviously, if it breaks its all-time high, then it's all of a sudden a great sign. So the volume on a weekly chart, if I look at the volume, which is very important because the volume is what dictates the coming, I guess, momentum in what's happening with the actual price of the token. So we see here there was a lot of volume here, and over here also the volume was very strong. That's what we saw. It had this upward movement. Over here as well, we saw the volume was very strong, which kind of coincided also with its upward movement. Since then, over here, the volume was high, but it was really on the downwards movements. I mean, there was a lot of selling pressure there. And since then, the volume is so-so. Really, this is not like, if I go back to how long has this been? Since July 2021, which is almost a year, it looks like the volume has been okay. Nothing really, nothing very exciting. So that's why it just seems like as if maybe people are waiting for something to happen with Chainlink. On the monthly chart, it didn't look that great. So on the monthly chart, what's my concern with monthly chart is that, again, what we had seen with weekly chart, we see it here with the monthly chart as well, where all of a sudden the previous high, we weren't able to achieve it, because what happened was, let me just remove this so I can show it better, is that right over here, so basically Chainlink had this high in April 2021 on the monthly, around $39 US, and then afterwards, it wasn't really able to hit that price again. Next time it got up to something in range of around $30 US, and since then it's been hovering around this $18 to $20 mark since early 2022. If I go back to the analysis with Intuitive Block, if I look at all its financial stats, as far as all the tokens are concerned, the current addresses in Chainlink, 30% of the investments or 30% of the addresses are in the money. 67% of the addresses are out of the money. So that is not a great sign. And if I go down to what's going on to the tokens that bought between $13 and $18, which kind of shows us, because today we're at around $15. So kind of the tokens that bought in those price ranges, well, 53% are in the money and 46% are out of the money. And as far as Chainlink is concerned, if you look at the historical in and out of the money, so it looks like the investors that were here in these ranges of, let's say, 2019, 2020, this period of, let's say, May to September 2020, they did very well. But as of today, if you look at the total addresses right now, we have basically 410,000 addresses that are out of the money. At the money, there's around 18,000 addresses, and 212,000 addresses, or 34% of the addresses, are right now in the money. So it's meaning that a lot of addresses are right now losing money as of today. And if I go to transactions, it looks fine. That it's active. It's an active blockchain. The price movement we already saw before. As far as what's interesting also is that volatility. It's I guess it's been. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a very volatile token, because it looks like, if you look at the chart, I mean, we don't see. I mean, it just seems like, I mean, if I look at really the weekly chart, which kind of is, it's going to be able to show us, I mean, it had this parabolic run, and since then it's kind of hasn't been able to do much really since May 2021. So as far as its volatility is concerned, it's okay. I mean, I don't have much comment about that. And if I look at the actual ownership, which I really like looking at all the time, ownership by concentration. So it shows us that as far as the ownership concentration is, so 62% of the link is owned by the whales, which kind of makes sense because as we saw earlier from this tokenomics, not all tokens have been released, because right now basically around 500,000 or half the supply still hasn't been released. That means the parent company is still holding on to it. As far as investors are concerned, 60% of tokens are held by investors, and retail holds approximately 21% of the link, which is held by the retail investors. And then if I go down into the to see if there's anything more I can get from these addresses, by time held, I like looking at as well. So it looks like the holders, which are, let's say, 1 year plus holders, those are, it's interesting because as far as number of addresses they're really considering themselves hodlers, or let's say holding on to their link tokens. If I go to, let's say, May 2021, it was around 64,000 such addresses. And as I fast forward, so we're seeing this number going up. So I'm looking at the hodlers. So as of May 2021, it's 68,000 addresses. September 2021, it was 150,000 addresses. January of this year, it was over 200,000 addresses. And today it's at above 300,000 addresses. So this is very interesting, meaning that there's a lot of hodler movement. People are holding on to their link tokens. And that to me, it's a very positive sign. So that's why it's kind of, the signals I'm getting are not really crystal clear. That's what makes this space so interesting. There's multiple ways of looking at everything. So as far as I'm concerned, I believe I will do some more research with the for this token. The idea is great, but I'm not sure there's going to be other competitors coming in that would be maybe replacing its dominance in the marketplace. So it's one that I want to share with you because I'm looking at this token, but I'm not really comfortable at this as of today to really make a decision as far as if I'm going to be going ahead with an investment or if I'm going to be holding off and doing some more research. So for now, more research is required from my side. And if I do make a decision either way, I will remake a new video about that as well. So again, before I let you go, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video if you do like it. And thanks so much for watching. Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.